What's going on, guys? We're bringing this channel back from the dead, so let's roll the intro and get into it. Alright, so like I said, it's been a long time since we put out a video. Too long, actually. Last time you would have seen the Civic, it was still in pieces. There was still snow on the ground. It's pretty much summertime now, so basically I've been spending a lot of time just getting the Civic put back together and ready for racing. We've already been to the track a couple of times, so it's been a lot of fun. It's running great. We do have some footage for that too, it's just not edited yet. So not to say that we haven't been getting any footage for videos, it's just that we haven't really had time to edit anything. On average, it probably takes us 3 to 5 hours to edit a video, so it is kind of time consuming when we gotta edit the videos. With spring coming now, there's been a lot of yard cleanup, so having to do a lot of stuff around the yard. It's crazy how much crap you accumulate over the winter. So let's travel back in time to when there was still snow on the ground and the Civic was still in pieces, and then I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, well, I was able to get the strut forks off of the EL in the backyard, installed them on the Civic already, so basically it's ready to be lowered to the ground. I just got to put the wheels on it. I do need to clean up the mess first though. There's a big mess on the floor, there's a mess behind it, and then I got to try moving the Supra yet too, because it's parked behind it on the driveway. So a lot of stuff I got to do before I can actually back the car out of here and turn it around, so let's get to it. Alright, so I'm heading into town now to pick up some more stuff for the Civic. My plan is to get it driving and on the road by the end of the day today. So I got to stop by Canadian Tire and pick some stuff up. Currently, I have the passenger side door off. I've painted the door jambs. The side moldings are done. So I basically just need to throw everything back together. I got to get the interior put back together. And all the wiring finished up in the fenders. Everything's rust-proofed and undercoated, so it's just going to be a matter of putting everything back together at this point. So as you all probably know by now, we picked up a 96 Honda Prelude SRV with the VTEC motor H22A1. So my plan for that is to pull that motor and basically build it for boost, because I don't want to have the Civic out of commission while I'm building a boosted motor, so at least this way I can still drive it naturally aspirated while I build the boosted motor. So I'm heading into town, not just to pick up some stuff for today, but there's some turbo bits that I'm going to pick up too. So I'm meeting a guy in Winkler, and he has an intercooler for sale, so I'm going to be picking that up as well. got my intercooler, I got everything I needed from Canadian Tire. Now I think I'm going to go to the car wash because the Suzuki is filthy. I also ordered some Bridgestone Potenza RE71Rs, so I'm going to be running those on the Civic for track day, so they should be here within the next couple of days or so I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, let's hit up the car wash and then we're going to head her home.
A few moments later.
Alright, so I'm back home now, I'm gonna get to work. Basically gonna get everything painted. I got the mirror and the grille over here sanded, so they're ready to be painted. And after that's done, it's just gonna be throwing the car back together. So I'll get to that and then we'll see you in a bit. Okay, so that's pretty much what it took to get the car back on the road and safely able to be tracked. So basically here's where the car sits now. Since then I have painted the side moldings so they are black now. Eventually I will be painting the front end and the rest of the car. I'm thinking a satin black rather than a flat black because it always looks dirty. Even when I clean it now that it's flat black, it just always looks dirty. So I did the mirrors and the grille with the satin, and I think they look really good, so I think I'm just gonna go in that same direction and do the whole car that way. I got the Bridgestone Potenza RE71Rs, mounted them on the SSR wheels, so I've been using those for the track because they're nice and lightweight. They've been performing really well, but they do wear down pretty fast, especially on the track, so I don't really want to use them for when I'm daily driving the car. So I got some 14-inch wheels and tires for the street. I picked them up pretty cheap. I just cleaned them up and painted them, so they look really nice now. So I did end up getting everything back from powder coating, so I'm really happy with the way it turned out. It looks really clean. So that means I can finally go forward with the rear disc brake conversion. And then I can also install all my new energy suspension bushings that I got. I am on vacation end of June, so I have about 2 weeks where hopefully I can get lots of work done on this thing. So the Civic has been running great on the track. Like I said, we've had it out there a couple of times. We've been having some issues with the Silvia. We did have it at the track at the beginning of the season, and let's just say it's not trackable at this point. So we'll have an update coming for that, but like I said, I'll let Tim get into that one. So pretty much my plans for this year on the Civic. I do eventually want to get the front end of the car and the rest of the car painted. It might not happen right away, but I do want to get that done by winter. I want to pull the motor on the Prelude that we have in the backyard. I want to at least get the motor pulled and mounted on the engine stand so I can get started on it. But the biggest thing I want to do is get the WaveTrack limited slip installed in the transmission and then swap it out in the Civic. While I have the transmission out, I do have a Fidanza lightweight flywheel that came with the Prelude, so I'm going to be installing that. Also an Exity clutch kit that came with the Prelude as well, so I think I'm going to lean more towards using that than the XTD kit that I bought prior. And then the last thing I want to install on the motor this year is just the lightweight crank pulley that I got, and that's pretty much going to be it on the motor this year. I will eventually be boosting the motor out of the Prelude and installing that in the Civic, but it's going to be a slow process. It all depends on funds, but I'm planning maybe next year it'll be ready to go, but we'll see. I want to make sure that it's done right, so it is going to be a slow process, but just know that it is going to happen eventually. It's just, I want to make sure it's done right. And so again, I just want to apologize for the lack of footage lately. Like I said, we've been really busy, just trying to get all the cleanup done on the yard. Me and Tim's schedules haven't really been lining up either, and he actually lives an hour away from me now, so every time we do car stuff in the garage, he has to drive an hour to get here. So it takes a lot of time and effort to try and make it work for the both of us, and the amount of time that we're spending editing videos, like I said, it can take us sometimes 5 hours to edit a video. It takes a lot of time to do, and when we're only getting an average of like 50 to 60 views on a video, it starts to take its toll. Like, is it really worth doing it anymore? So if you possibly could, if you could share our videos, just try and get the word out there. Like, I don't know, maybe we're doing something wrong, we're just not getting the views. There's a lot of other videos out there that are less informative than ours, and they're getting tons of views, so I don't know. Maybe it's just something that we're doing, but if you could help us out in any way, please do so. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, we'll see you next time.